So what we're hearing now is that there is something called X, a disease that now we're trying to work so hard to prevent from happening, but we can't even name it. What's so crazy is, why are we not naming it? Is it because we don't know what it is and we just believe that there's something coming? Come on, think about that, folks. There is something coming, and we're making a shot to fix it, to put again in your body, and we're doing it in 100 days worldwide. We're working on this globally because we believe another one is coming, and the other one that's coming we can't even name because we don't know if it's going to be part of birds or monkeys, or we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's from the Congo. I mean, literally, this is what we're hearing, and so we're just supposed to believe it, supposed to be taking this thing in our shoulder to all of a sudden know that we're going to be safe. There's a lot of holes in that argument there. A lot of holes. Let's jump into it today.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire.
Hey guys, welcome to The Max. I think sometimes my videos, I'm just speaking reality. I'm literally taking the news and just talking about it and giving commentary on it. And somehow, the more I talk, the more I feel like I'm literally living in the Twilight Zone. I mean, it is crazy, some of the stories that we're hearing. And so when we hear stuff like this, I'm just like, we're working on something to prevent or to fix something that has not even happened yet. So breaking news, globally, they said we are in for another pandemic. And so now we have scientists working on shots to prevent this new disease called X, the letter X. Isn't it amazing how everything is named X now? But the letter X is now going to be more fatal and more dangerous than the last one. The crazy thing is they don't even know what it's going to be called yet. Studies show that back before 2020, there was something else called X and ended up being something that shut down the world. So now we have a new X, and we're already trying to build this shot against it. However, we don't even know what we're fighting yet, or do we? That's the question. Do we know what we're fighting? And us as the normals, the serfs, the local, the small guys, we don't know what it is, but there may be other people that do. Tell me, why are we working on a pharmaceutical to heal something that we don't even know what's coming yet? So this is really happening definitely in Europe, where they're starting to make this testing. They're gonna have a shot ready for you to take if all of a sudden this new disease comes along. They're already planning for another pandemic. When did we ever do this in society, in civilization, for the last 2,000 or 3,000 years, that we wanted a pandemic to come and we were already ready for it? That is exactly what we're doing. The question is, who benefits off this? Who benefits from it? Well, we lock everything down so the local business doesn't. Your health doesn't. So therefore, more medicines are pushed on you based on you being lazy, lackadaisical, or worried and have fear, so you're having to take all this stuff and putting in your body because there could be something detriment to your health. And if you haven't noticed, they haven't named it because they don't know what's going to kind of take off. It's kind of like going viral, being in the algorithm. It's amazing. They tried the bird flu, that didn't work. They tried Zika and all this, that didn't work. They've even tried the GMO mosquitoes. That really hasn't worked either. They've tried the monkeypox. Well, you know, that didn't work. So what is actually going to be the next thing? Well, to me, they already know it. They just hadn't named it yet. And the sad thing is that we just embrace it. We're doing, the BBC just did a big article on it. I read it on Valuetainment. If you follow PBD podcast, Valuetainment did a article on it. And so everybody's starting to pick up a story of someone trying to do measures, keep a pandemic from going crazy, and all the while we've not had a pandemic. We don't have one going on right now. Are we playing with scare tactics and fear tactics? Are we trying to make the populace fear something that's not there? All the while, they're getting rich off of you because the government's having to fund these shots. The government's having to protect you from all this stuff that's going on. One of the things that they're worried about is something called the Congo hemorrhagic flu or something like that. You know what they're saying? They're saying it's from ticks. The ticks are moving north, and therefore it's getting in more populated areas because of climate change, because of the heating of the environment. Do you see how they spin that? Do you see how they did that? They're throwing those little nuggets in for you so you can realize, wow, I don't need to be driving a gas-powered car. I don't need to be using hairspray. It's killing the ozone. It's causing global warming. I should live without electricity. That's pretty stupid, isn't it? This new disease, they're spending millions of dollars to try to get ready for. Get ready for, and we don't even know what it is. So I come back and tell you people, please, first of all, spiritually, make sure you have your peace in Christ and God, because we live in a time where everything is so worrisome, and there's so much stress, and they want you on medication, they want you to be indoctrinated, they want you to be basically dependent on them and their control of you. So first and foremost, spiritually, I hope that you are well, and I hope you're prepping in a spiritual sense first. I just want to push that home, because if I didn't have Christ, I probably couldn't deal with the stuff that I deal with and read every day, because it would worry me about my children and my spouse and my family. So hopefully you're spiritually prepped. But when we start hearing these kind of things and hear these news stories, please dive into them a little bit. Make sure you are trying to build wisdom on it. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to say there is already news stories out about something that hasn't even happened yet. Remember that old show? I can't remember the name of it, but it was where the guy got the newspaper that was for tomorrow. So he already knew the bad events that were going to take place. So then his job, and the whole point of the show, was the guy was going to try to prevent the problem from actually happening. And everybody thought he was crazy, but it's because he knew what was going to take place and what was going to transpire if he did not step in. Well, it's kind of like that. I think our government and our leaders do the same thing. We don't know what's coming, but for some reason, they must have a futuristic view, because all of a sudden they know what's coming because they're already prepared for it. Well, it's different than prepping. We don't know what's coming, but we don't trust a lot of the outcomes, so therefore we try to prepare for anything and everything that comes. Unlike this situation, where if they realize, well, we're releasing genetically modified mosquitoes, there could be some problems. Yes, we're releasing some kind of virus, have to do studies on it. No, there could be a problem there. In our finite minds, we want infinite wisdom. Humans want more knowledge. Knowledge ends up being construed with power and control. Well, we're finite. We don't understand. We get old even though we don't want to. We forget things even though we don't want to. We try to build this control mechanism, I think, as a whole, where these globalists are pushing all this on typical people instead of just letting people just live. And so therefore, when we hear things like disease X, it's trending on social media. It's going to be right in the news, and they're going to throw in those nuggets again. Well, the climate's causing these animals to do this, and these insects to do these, and these parasites to do this, and all of a sudden now we're going to get viruses and diseases and sicknesses. And oh, by the way, we've already made this healing agent that can all of a sudden, the government can spend billions on it to then turn around and give it to you. We have not trialed it, but it's an emergency, so you need to take it. If we see this cycle just keep on going every few years, do you honestly believe it's happening naturally? I guess that's my thought. Is this all natural? Do we just see these kind of random pandemics every 3 to 5 years? Is that just normal for us now? Is that really the new norm for America and for the globe? And I'm going to end with this. This is the scary thing, and I want to be completely honest. You remember the story of the little boy who cried wolf? Well, for the longest, he cried wolf. There was no wolf. It was a joke. And all of a sudden, when the wolf really came, no one was prepared and they thought he was joking. It's kind of the same situation. If we keep throwing these terminologies out, well, this is the next pandemic, this is the next disease, this is the next thing that you should be worried about, and then all of a sudden it kind of doesn't happen, then all of a sudden when something really bad happens, no one's prepared for it because everybody's like, oh, it's just another one, and it truly becomes a massive plague. This happens in the South all the time when it comes to hurricanes. We've had hurricanes after hurricanes after hurricanes, and the Weather Channel's got the guy blowing across the screen, and truthfully, none of them are really that bad. And all of a sudden, because we don't prepare for it, and we're like, oh, it'll just be a little storm come through, then Katrina comes and takes out the whole South part right on the Gulf. Because we were not ready, there were so many people stranded, and then it became a true emergency. Because it was year after year after year. Well, this is going to be the big one. Climate's made the hurricanes get worse, and every year it may not get that bad. But we quit trusting maybe the news cycle because they kept saying that this hurricane was going to be the worst, and it wasn't. And all of a sudden, bam, Katrina hits. So that happens, and I think we're seeing the same thing with our news cycle with things like this. We hear this is going to cause a major outcry. This is going to hurt everybody. This is going to make everyone suffer when it comes to this next disease, X. And all of a sudden, we prepare for this. We prepare for monkeys. We prepare for birds. We prepare for pig, and we prepare for all these, different, problems that we're supposed to have, and they never happen. Then all of a sudden, then something really bad does happen. Then it really does cause a major catastrophic event because we were not ready, because all we heard was the boy who cried wolf. It's my two thoughts that's kind of scary about it. Is it just every 2 or 3 years we're going to see this new strain, this new disease happen, and we're supposed to fear and frantic and lose freedoms and liberties and let them control us? Or are we seeing someone who just keeps throwing all this out there, and then we get null to it, and then all of a sudden something really bad happens? Both of those situations are not good. So I'll go back and say, yes, we can physically prepare. Yes, we can mentally prepare, but we have to make sure we are spiritually prepared for all this stuff and this distraction that we always hear. Men are finite. We're going to live and we're going to die. And we're going to go through this stressful world that we live in. The only way we can really deal with it is if we have a basis in knowing that it's going to be okay. So I challenge you today, try to seek a spiritual healing. For me, it's God, it's Christ. And when we start learning that, then it starts giving us a clear mind to prep. It gives us a clear mind to survive. It gives us a clear mind to put our feet heading in the right direction and start walking that way and start figuring out, okay, let's be wise in what we're doing. Let's be wise in the decisions we're making. Let's be wise in the news that we're taking in. And therefore, then we see when things come, it's like, okay, let's make a wise decision. Is this something that we should be worried about or not? Is this something that we should learn to be precautionary about or not? And that will help us, I think, be wiser and make better decisions for ourselves and our families. So is this the new one, the next big thing? Well, they're now making shots for you. The question is, I don't know what it is. Somebody probably does know what it is. But all I can challenge you to do is be wise. Make wise decisions. Seek guidance. Rely on someone stronger than us in our finite minds and His infinite wisdom from God. Have a wonderful day. I hope that I'm hoping we get some rain here in the south. We absolutely need it. But I hope you have a wonderful day. Please know you're going to hear bad news cycles all the time. Take care of you and your family. So I'll leave you with that today. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.